My name is Lena. I'm the founder of Go Running Tours, and we're doing these series of short interviews with our guides, simply so you guys can get to know the people behind the running shoes and the destinations better, and also you can get a little bit more of a feel of these amazing colleagues that we have. So the first one that we have is my colleague Michael in Copenhagen, and I think a disclaimer is a little bit that I'm in Copenhagen as well, so Michael and myself know each other well, and we know Copenhagen well. But Michael, you're first up. Let us know who you are. Tell me a little bit about you.
Yeah, so my name's Michael. I've been running the tours here in Copenhagen for quite a few years now. So I'm pretty used to the routes that we're running here. I've run the tours hundreds of times, never get bored of them. And the first thing people normally notice about me when I come to introduce myself at the start of the tour is that I don't have a Danish accent. So that's what normally the first comment from the guests is. And that's because I'm from Ireland, but I've been living here in Copenhagen for the last 9 years. So I think I know the city pretty well. And I've been working also in the restaurant and wine industry, so I've got loads of good recommendations for people when they come to visit the city.
Cool, absolutely. I think sometimes actually you know the city better than me.
Yeah, but I think also it gives me a bit of a unique perspective as well, that I've been here so long that I'm a bit of a local, but I'm also still a bit of an outsider.
Yeah, I totally agree. Before we go into the running tours, tell me a little bit about sort of your running. Do you have any running goals? What are you yeah.
Yeah, so I've been running for, I don't know, maybe about 10 years. At the start, it was always a bit on and off until I met you, pretty much. And then I started to take it a bit more seriously. I ran my first marathon there last year in Copenhagen, and possibly my last marathon. It was a good experience, but I think I learned that maybe a half marathon is more my distance from now on. So I've signed up for Copenhagen half, which is in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah.
So that's my next goal, and I don't really have any goal pace or anything set for that at the minute. I did have a few months ago.
Okay, so what happened?
I had a couple of small injuries along the way. I had a bit of an ankle problem for a bit, so I could still run. And I was still running the tours and everything, but I didn't push myself in training as much. So my initial goal was I wanted to get under an hour and 40, as close to an hour and 30 as possible. At the minute, my goal is have a good day and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Cool. I think it's an amazing day out in Copenhagen. It really is a great race.
Yeah, and I've never run the half marathon here, so I've done just the marathon, but I've never officially done the half marathon here. And it seems like such a fun day, and there's so many people involved, and the whole city really comes to life. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, excellent, cool. So, jumping into the running tours, as you mentioned, you've done loads, you've done hundreds, I think. What is sort of the highlight of a tour? Can you think of a tour that really stuck out, or any moment? So, what has sort of stuck out from the running tours?
I think the highlight for me is something that's happened a few times, is when people come back and run with me again and do some of the other routes in the city. So I've had a few guests that have come back and run several of the different routes with me. There's one couple from Chicago who've been over quite a few times. They came over for about 4 years in a row. It got to the stage where I was starting to think I was going to have to make up new tours to take them on as well. And I think that's really the highlight for me, because often when you run a tour, you meet the people one time and you have a great time together and it's a lot of fun, and then off they go, and maybe you follow each other on Strava. That's always nice as well, that you can keep in touch a bit that way. But it's great to see people coming back and hearing what they've remembered from the tour last time and what they enjoyed previously as well.
Yeah, I agree. Is that Jonathan? Is it Jonathan from Chicago? And
yeah.
He's run.
He hasn't been here this year.
Okay, we have to
I'm
write
gonna
him.
have to send him a strongly worded email. Tell me how to visit Copenhagen again.
Fantastic.
I've got
He's
some
actually run
plans for
with
some
us
fun
many
runs.
cities.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Cool. Excellent. And then the other side, sometimes there's maybe also tours that are more challenging or more tough. Do any of the tours stand out where you sort of think, oof, that was a hard one?
Uh, I think the one that stands out to me is there was a tour. So in the summer here in Copenhagen, the sun rises very early. And we also do a tour where we like to let people see the city during the sunrise because it's one of the most beautiful times of the day for the city as well. And so I think it was the end of June last year, there was a tour booked for 4 a.m. So that was already, I was thinking, okay, I have to get up pretty early. But that was exciting anyway because we want to get the sunrise and it's going to be a fun tour too. But what I didn't realize was that it was the morning after a big festival in the city. So I arrived in the city centre to meet the guest, and the city was still partying. And the streets were full of people who were still out, still partying, still drunk. And we were trying to run through the streets, and it was like running at rush hour in the morning because the streets were so full of people stumbling all over the place, and we were running, weaving in and out of them. So yeah, it was fun as well. I don't know how much. It wasn't a challenge, but it was definitely a memorable one.
And did the guest enjoy him or herself? Or
Yeah, the guest
just think what places is?
No, she enjoyed it a lot as well, even though people were shouting at us and joking with us along the way, and we had some drunk people like running after us and following and joined in for parts of the tours and stuff. So I think it was a bit of a unique experience for her as well, but it was a whole lot of fun. And then once that was the start, when we were in this very city centre, and then we were along the harbour where it was a bit quieter, and then we could laugh about it.
Excellent. And is there anything when you do the tours in Copenhagen? Is there anything that sort of stands out to them? Is there anything that really sort of impresses them when they run in Copenhagen?
I think the impressive thing about Copenhagen, and one of the things that the guests notice a lot, is just the lifestyle of the city. I think it comes across quite clearly when you're visiting here, but also when you're talking to the local. And I think more than any particular landmark or any particular site, it's just seeing that way of how people live in Copenhagen. That we can cycle everywhere. The bike lanes are 3 to 4 bikes wide. We can swim in the harbour. So you really get a sense when you're in Copenhagen of what it would be like to live here.
Yeah.
And I think that's I think that's what impresses people the most. And I think people take that a bit home with them as well. They get a bit inspired of, okay, I can take a bit of this sort of active everyday lifestyle back to my own home city.
Yeah, that makes sense. Absolutely. And if you sort of think, if you put the running aside, is there really sort of one thing that you think is a must do in Copenhagen for people visiting?
2 things. One is to go for a swim in the harbour. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
No matter what season it is, if it's the summer, it's amazing. Everyone's there and you're going to have a great time. And if it's the winter, just do it anyway. And you're going to have a great memory. And if it's the winter, you can always do it with the sauna alongside that as well. I think then you're going to really experience the Copenhagen lifestyle. Just jump in the harbour, just do it. Yeah. And then go and eat some nice pastries after.
All right. Yeah. Which one would you recommend? Which pastries?
Close to the city centre, you should be going to Heart. Getting some whatever they have.
Join the hipsters.
Yeah. Do that. After a jump in the harbour, get all wrapped up. That's like the true Copenhagen lifestyle.
True. Excellent. And then the other thing is, which I think we actually don't talk enough about, we are so busy promoting the city. Is there anything people shouldn't do? Or something you wouldn't recommend doing?
Uh, don't go to Sweden. No, that's a joke. We'll cut that part. Um, what shouldn't you do in Copenhagen? Unless you're running on the running tour, maybe don't bother going to the Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
When we see it on the tour, it's good because we have a nice run along the harbour and it doesn't take too long to reach the Little Mermaid. But if you're going out of your way just to see the Little Mermaid, I don't think it's worth it.
No, it takes a while to walk up.
It takes a while to walk out and there's not a lot else in the immediate area. But I think it's great to see on the tours because when you're going for a run, it's part of a really nice route.
Yeah.
And gives a good idea of the city. There's a nice history behind it. But just going out there to get a photo of the Little Mermaid, if you've only got a couple of days in the city, I would pass on that.
Yeah, okay. I think my recommendation, so I'm just jumping in here, would be don't ride a bike at Monday morning at 8 o'clock because that's going to be suicide. That was not going to be a pleasant experience with everyone commuting to work and travelers out for a chill bike ride in Copenhagen. I think that's going to be a clash.
Yeah, if you're going to ride a bike in Copenhagen, you need to know the rules first because riding the bike here is a way of commute. It's not just done for a bit of fun. So you need to know what you're doing.
Absolutely. Cool. All right. So if we then sort of one initiative that you've been working on as the only destination in Go Running Tours, you've been working closely with Wonderful Copenhagen over the summer on an initiative called Copenhagen. I'd like to talk a little bit about it. Do you want to explain what it is? Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Copenhagen is an initiative of Wonderful Copenhagen where they like to reward tourists and travelers to Denmark who take conscientious actions within the city. And so that could mean that if you travel somewhere by bike, then you'll get rewarded with a free coffee. Or if you if you're part of an initiative to pick up some rubbish on the street, then you get rewarded with something after. And what we decided to do was that we did a running tour where we discussed this quite a lot coming up to it. We were thinking, we could do a plug-in tour where we pick up some rubbish along the way, but we decided that we wanted to do something a bit more creative. And so we decided to do a tour where we were throwing seed bombs with some native Danish wildflower around the city. So we're going to give the city a bit of color in that way. And the idea with that is you make a little ball with some clay and compost and local wildflower. It's important that it's local flower so that it's not an invasive species. And then you just throw it in some land around the city where there's nothing growing. And after a bit of time, the flowers are going to take root and they're going to help with the biodiversity in the city as well. And so we got together once a week and with a group of tourists, and we ran around the city, learned a bit about life here in Copenhagen and through the wildflower, and then we finished with a coffee as well.
And who joined? Who are the people who would join these tours?
It was quite interesting actually. We had a really wide variety of people. We had some people who were just in the city for a couple of days and were just looking for a fun activity to do. We had people who'd come to Denmark, and one of the sort of the parts of Denmark, parts of Copenhagen identity is this idea of sustainability. So when people come to Copenhagen, they're often looking for what are some sustainable things about the city. So we had people who were coming particularly to do something sustainable. And then I had quite a few people as well who just moved to Copenhagen and were trying to learn a bit more about the city that they just moved to. But other than that, there was no predicting who could be. There was a wide variety of age range and a wide variety of running ability.
But that's fantastic, right? Because there's different conversations going as well. I'm guessing the conversations between them and not just you and the guests were different as well.
Yeah, exactly, and especially because there was this variety of people who had just moved to the city and tourists as well. So it was like it made my job easy because I wasn't the only one having to give all the recommendations this time. Everyone was really having a conversation around what they'd done in the city, what they'd seen, what was important to them, and also bringing in things from their own backgrounds and giving an idea of what they saw from their cities, how they could maybe incorporate some of the things we were doing here when they get back home as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the end, we managed to plant or throw over 100 seed bombs. So I think there's going to be, so I've been on a bit of a route of where I was running before, and I've already seen a bit of color, a bit of some flowers coming up. So I need to take one of the routes again and really have a look around and investigate and see what I can find there.
That's fantastic. So at the end of the summer and next year, we're just going to be in full bloom on Nørrebro.
Exactly. Yeah. And all thanks to all the tourists who've helped make the city more colourful.
That's fantastic. Would you, I mean, I guess it sounds like it was a success. Would you do it again?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It was so much fun. It was a very different type of tour to what we normally do. And it was really fun because you felt like you were on a secret mission. You know, we all met up in the morning, and we all got a little bag each of these wildflower bombs, and then we were running around looking for the best places to plant them. So it really gave an extra layer to a normal run. The goal wasn't running 5 minutes per kilometer. The goal was finding the best places to help the biodiversity of the city.
Fantastic. Cool. All right, Michael, I don't think I have that many other questions. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think I'm good. Well, there was one thing that we'd been discussing a bit, and that was about what would be my piece of running advice.
True, I forgot to ask you. For anyone running, regardless of whether they're beginners or whether they're elite athletes, what would be the one advice that you would give them?
And I had something that I wanted to say about that because there's something that I'm a bit passionate about.
Go for it.
And that is that my piece of running advice is that you should leave Strava at home sometimes and run without tracking, and the watch, leave that at home as well. Don't worry about how fast you're running, how far you're running. Just go for a run and explore the city, explore the countryside, wherever you're living, just go and explore. And don't worry about how you're doing. You just need to remember the reason that you like running in the first place is that it makes you feel good. And you shouldn't be worried that, oh no, I didn't quite finish the run in 40 minutes like I wanted. And just go out and enjoy yourself. I think it's easy for us to forget that these days when we're always tracking every single run. And I think the tours help a bit with that because, of course, we're stopping along the way and we're chatting. But I think, that's something we can all take into our own everyday running as well.
Absolutely. When did you last go on a run without a phone and without a watch?
You can't ask me that after I've given you advice. It's been too long. Oh no, that's not true. I did one on my holiday there a couple of weeks ago.
Good.
But it wasn't. I didn't. Yeah. But I didn't do it because I was going to enjoy the beauty of the surroundings. I did it because it was really steep uphill, and I didn't want to see how slowly I was running. But it doesn't matter. It worked anyway. Because then I was able to go out and enjoy it. I don't know how far I ran or how fast I was. I got to see a lot of the Italian countryside. So that was lovely.
Fantastic. Excellent. Cool. All right. Thanks a lot, Michael. Thanks for your time.
All right. Thank you.